Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Miss Analytical Radio Show with your host, Miss Analytical. I must say that I've been away for the past couple of days. It's been close to 2 weeks since I've actually recorded a show, and I had to take care of some personal matters. And this is not work related. However, I will say I want to shout out everyone who viewed not just the Pat Houston videos, whether it was on YouTube or on Spreaker.com, but also the video about Dr. Umar Johnson. It reached 100 views, which makes that my very first video to reach the views in the 100s. And I want to say thank you to everyone who helped to be able to do that. Because without the viewers and the listeners, it couldn't have happened. So, since I was away from making videos, the Monique Saga was spreading like wildfire all throughout the internet, the blogs, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, Periscope, you name it. It's been everywhere. You can't escape it. I say this for a woman who the media claims is irrelevant. She damn sure has been relevant the past 2 weeks because the search engine, when you type in the first two letters M-O, Monique comes up. Okay, it ain't even money. It's Monique coming up, all right? So that tells you she got some steam still in her, you know? She still got fire in her. But the reason why I bring up her name is because this is what I'm going to be talking about today. And I gotta say, this is a big one. A lot of people don't think that this whole thing with Monique versus Netflix is serious, but I'm going to break it down as to why it is. But before that, I'm going to go into the whole logistics of this story, this saga, because it is a saga. It pretty much started off with her making the video, going on Sway in the Morning, uploading it, and everybody viewing it, and people commented. When people commented, everybody started giving in their 2 cents. But it wasn't messy until John Murray came in. However, what I'm going to do with this topic, I'm going to break it down to at least 4 parts. I will say this segment will be in its entirety. It's not going to be chopped up because YouTube has a habit of chopping up the videos. It's not Spreaker. It's YouTube. I don't know why it's doing that when I upload. But hopefully when I get my computer, I won't have that issue. However, I'm going to begin discussing the Monique saga. And I have to call it a saga. So, about 2 weeks ago, Monique posted a video on Instagram. And on Instagram, it says, boycott Netflix for color bias and gender bias. Please stand with me. I love us. So, she does this because she says that Netflix actually committed gender bias and color bias after negotiating for her to do a comedy special on the services. And Monique pretty much turned it down. Okay? She was fed up with Netflix as she asked for the black community to join her in a boycott of the company. So, this is what she said. Hey, my loves, I'm asking that you stand with me and boycott Netflix for gender bias and color bias. I was offered a $500,000 deal last week to do a comedy special. However, Amy Schumer was offered $11 million. Chris Rock and Dave Chappelle, $20 million. Then Amy Schumer went back and renegotiated $20 million because she said, I shouldn't get what the men are getting. They're legends. However, I should get more. And Netflix agreed. When we asked Netflix to explain the difference, why the money was so different, they said, well, we believe that's what Monique will bring. We said, what about my resume? They said, we don't go off resumes. Then we asked them, well, what was it about Amy Schumer? And they said, well, she sold out the Madison Square Garden twice. And she had a big movie over the summer. Is that not Amy Schumer's resume? And then Netflix said, by the way, we believe Monique is a legend too. Why shouldn't I get what the legends are getting? Please stand with me in this boycott of Netflix, I Love Us For Real. Now, this is going to be my take on the situation, because I have a lot of opinions about this. For starters, with the whole streaming service of Netflix has become major over the past 5 years. And a lot of it has to do with people wanting to view movies at a cheaper rate than what they would get on cable. So that's why Netflix became popular. Because if you can have Netflix for $11.99 a month, as opposed to having cable, which is about $100 plus a month, the consumer is going to go for something that's cheaper and have more variety and be able to choose when they can watch a particular movie or documentary, so to speak, or also reruns of their favorite sitcoms. Let's keep it real. But what boosted Netflix was the arrival of Orange is the New Black. Now, I'm going to go a little bit deeper into this. With Orange is the New Black, this is when you have shows coming up such as Stranger Things, House of Cards, and so many others. So more and more people are going to Netflix. This is when you get the comedy specials coming up. You have comedy specials from all sorts of people. But a lot of the comedy specials are from comedians that aren't really major household names. Unless you are a comedian, connoisseur, you're not going to really know who they are. So it's not an issue of them giving Monique the special. The question was the amount of money. And I have to say, I agree with Monique. She was lowballed hugely. For starters, she's an Academy Award winning actress. Okay? She did not win an Academy Award for a comedic role, but she won for a dramatic role. But still, she won an Oscar. And when you win an Oscar, what happens is, regardless of whether you're still in the limelight consistently or not, you are in the $1 million plus, 7 figures plus bracket. Okay? Now, the question also is, why did Amy Schumer get a lot of money? Amy Schumer got a lot of money, number one, and I'm going to keep it real with you, simply because at the moment, she was current and hot. She did have a couple of movies out consistently. She was on her grind with her comedy specials. But let's keep it real, in Hollywood, it goes by race. It goes by race. And that was the main reason why she got it. And I have to keep it real and say, when it comes to Monique, she can't claim her as a sister because, number one, Amy Schumer is not only different racially, but also in a classism, because her cousin is a United States Senator, Chuck Schumer. So that's another difference, So Amy Schumer got she has clout. Now, the question now comes into gender. Why did Monique get offered way less than Dave Chappelle and Chris Rock? Well, I'm going to say this. When it comes to Chris Rock, he's been more consistent than Dave Chappelle. And I have to say, Chris Rock is he's a legend. And he's very funny. His comedy has sort of toned down. He's not as raunchy as he was 20 years ago. But he still is funny. And he still has a loyal fan base. Now, I have to be critical about Dave Chappelle. Dave Chappelle shouldn't get the $20 million. And I'm going to tell you why. For people to say that Monique has been out of the spotlight and not complain about David Chappelle being out of the spotlight. Dave Chappelle, in 2005, fled to Africa. And then from Africa, he lived on a farm. Nobody knew where this man was. And according to the general public, he was never going to return to the industry. He was done with it. He had walked away, and everybody had sung his high praise, like, oh, Dave Chappelle walked away. He didn't sell his soul. He didn't want to be part of the industry. And that was the truth. For a good 9 years, this man was gone. Now, he did give an interview on Oprah Winfrey. And after that, we didn't see him anymore. He was done. It's like, he took the money that he made from Viacom with the Dave Chappelle show, and he was gone. He comes back in 2014. And he comes back, and Chris Rock, I noticed, is like, I don't know if Chris Rock is his mentor again, or maybe saw his handler, but I know it's everywhere where Dave Chappelle is, Chris Rock is right there. You understand? But here you have a woman named Monique who's never ever left the comedy circuit. And you're going to say that this woman can't get more than $500K? Dave Chappelle was gone for 10 years. He was gone. Okay? He was gone. He was done. And he comes back in 2014. And 2016, he gets a special. He starts getting these specials. And then 2017, he's getting like $20 million for his special. He's supposed to get like 3 specials from what I read. And I'm going to say this. If you're not going to complain about Dave Chappelle getting the $20 million, don't complain about Monique asking for more, because she deserves it. The problem with Monique is that the woman was blackballed. And she was blackballed by Lionsgate, Oprah Winfrey, Tyler Perry, and Lee Daniels, because she complained about not being rightfully paid. That's where this all comes into. And she was deserving the money. And I don't blame her for having a boycott. My only issue with the boycott is that you can't boycott and have other people asking you to boycott for something that is a personal thing that's only affecting you. It would have to have been the whole black females in the comedy circuit were being discriminated. And they were open and vocal about what was current. Wanda Sykes has said, yeah, I was discriminated. They offered me $250K. However, I just took my talents elsewhere. I went to Epics. But Wanda Sykes didn't say, hey, Monique, I wanted to join with you in, boycotting against Netflix. She didn't do that. Where the other black comedians? They haven't come forward. So that's the problem. The problem is that if they would have all collectively came together and said, we're having issues with Netflix in terms of them paying us, and then how they want to own our art, and they're not going to even give us 7 figures, then that's when we as a black community could have said, well, damn, if they doing that to all of y'all, that's really grimy. F Netflix. We going to cancel it. But when one person says it because it's affecting them, it's really hard to have people and convince them to boycott. So that's the only issue with her wanting to boycott. I agree with her. They did her dirty. And she has a right to complain. You're an Oscar-winning actress. You're an Academy Award winner. You shouldn't be treated like that. What they offered her is what they offer somebody who is on the come up in Hollywood, who's a comedian who stars on a show, and they're branching out. That's an entry level salary in Hollywood for a special. DeRay got $5 million. Mainstream still don't know who DeRay is. He don't even make movies like that, but he got $5 million to Monique's $500K. So that's where the issue lies. So I'm going to talk more about this because this is a hot topic. It's a very hot topic. It's a serious one. And this is going to be part 1 of my Monique saga. Because we start to see that it goes from her asking to boycott to Amy Schumer making the video, which she's a dumb bitch in my opinion for that one. She's very disrespectful. I'm going to break down why. Then it goes to Cheryl Underwood on the talk, which I got issues with her, and I'm going to break that down too. To the goddamn John Murray, who I'm a get in on him. I'm going to go in on that little one because I got a lot to say about him. To the revelations of the actual emails. And on that note, I want everyone to take care of themselves, and I'll talk to you real soon.